What do you mean you won't send me a review copy? Do you even know who I am? Oh, sorry. Whoops. Camera on. No, I'm just kidding. But that's what we're talking about, though, in this video. We're going to talk about games, entitlements, and invariably stretch goals. But I thought I'd use that as an illustration because the sense of entitlement is on both sides of the camera, right? I started doing this and I didn't think anyone was ever going to send me anything. People have sent me stuff to play, to review, to talk about. And occasionally I have to catch myself, I have to check myself and say, whoa, you know what? Nobody needs to send you anything. If they do, hey, it's always a plus bonus. And if they're willing to let me talk about it on camera, that's awesome. If not, you know what? It's okay. Speaking of that mindset and that mentality, though, let's take that one step further. Let's take that further to the crowdfunding side of things, because that's where this is really going. And it's been brewing, it's been stemming, it's been sort of going on for quite some time. And unfortunately, factors beyond our control have also, definitely fanned the flames, right? So let's talk about that for a minute. Let's use a couple games, prominent-ish games, to talk about it, because it's also very relevant now, currently with what's going on at the time of me filming this, with CMON's 50th special campaign of Marvel Zombies, where the sense of value, where this gets also very complicated because of the focus, again, on that side of the screen, but also sometimes from people on this side of the screen, myself included, about value. Let's go. Ever read through a Kickstarter comment section? Especially a very high funding Kickstarter project in the first place? There's an overwhelming sense of something there. An overwhelming entitlement, an overwhelming sense of toxicity in general. And I say that both on the negative side of things, but also on the positive side of things. The positive toxicity is just as frustrating as the negative sometimes. Now, when we talk about entitlement, what do I mean by entitlement? I mean, the general definition of entitlement is things that we think that we deserve that we have not earned. Deserving more than what you have. Deserving of special treatment. Your own personal needs come before others. If your needs are not met, there is often a commotion or a disruptance created from your reaction in the first place. There is also a sense of not being grateful for what's being offered in the first place. Ivy League research onto this topic has shown that people with this sense are less concerned about the social and the emotional well-being of those around them. They're less concerned about what is acceptable from a societal standpoint. They don't follow instructions or feel like the rules apply to them because they're unfair. 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 We deserve this. Having trouble distinguishing between the needs and the wants. So why is that applicable? Because we're talking about crowdfunding in general. Does any of that sound familiar? Any of those attitudes? Any of those bullet points? Does that sound like commentary that you can picture when you hear those things? Do certain things get jived up here? Because for me, they do. I mean, at this point, there are 23 freaking thousand comments on the CMON Marvel Zombies campaign. And an overwhelming number of them are on one side or the other. With demands, with bickering, with desire, with the sense of we need this, otherwise it's unfair. Stretch goals are unfair. Stretch goals are ridiculous. They are not giving us what we want. They are not giving us what we deserve with this IP of Marvel and Zombicide. I can't believe they didn't do that. I can't believe Johnny Come Lately superhero isn't in this side. Or I can't believe they don't have Spider-Man as a zombie right now. Really? Like, not just critiques. Critiques are different. You can be critical without being entitled. The two are different. Again, a little bit of that need versus want side of things. Why do we get that way? How do we look at stretch goals nowadays? Let's talk about these stretch goals here for a second and why this is applicable. Here are the stretch goals for this campaign. Oh, look, these are all the free things, the exclusive things that you're getting. Free things that are being offered. Well, are they free though? Let's talk about that for a minute too. Stretch goals. Stretch goals. The source of frustration, but also joy in many a campaign. Tying it into the sense of entitlement. We deserve X amount of stretch goals. If I do not get enough value from my stretch goals, I am not going to back this. It's not going to be worth it. Oh, look at all the money gaps. Look how it's changed. Oh, well, now I'm just not getting my money's worth when it's up here, but now I'm going to be able to get it now. Well, let's talk about that for a second. Stretch goals, for all intents and purposes, and especially on these major campaigns, most of them are fake. Most of them are fake. But it's to create hype. It's to keep driving funds forward. And it's to create excitement. But in combination with that sense of entitlement, of what I was just talking about earlier, it leads to toxic behavior and toxic mannerisms that go along with these campaigns. And the Kickstarter comment section especially is ripe for this with the lack of moderation and ability to regulate in any degree. But let's break it down a little bit further for a second. Stretch goals, for all intents and purposes, are not free, right? They're all included already in these pledge levels. So they are already basically not just the core box here for $130. You are getting the core box plus the stretch goals. Think of the stretch goals as an additional expansion that you are already paying for that is bundled in with the core pledge or these other pledges. Only in this case, maybe it's a $40 expansion of all of the stretch goals. And again, there's this viewpoint of I have to have the value that is worth it. The value is not worth it if I cannot resell it for twice as much afterwards. Zombicide, second edition, one of the more popular iterations of Zombicide recently, right now, sells online for, between $80 and $90. Just the base game, the core base game. Nothing else, right? So similarly, if you take that $90, that's where I'm getting the $40. Because similarly, Zombicide second edition was about priced in this range. If you looked at a game like this and said, I'm going to get all of this stuff right now, all of these guys plus a few more in an expansion, it's going to cost me $40. Well, let's compare it to this one. You're getting more guys right now than you are in this one. And this one's going to cost you $50. So what do you think about that? Again, it's about the optics of things. How you frame things, how you talk about things, your wording, your way of viewing it in that sense can be very easily skewed however you want to frame it. And it's easy to lose sight of the fact that we are not entitled to anything. This is a product. No one is forcing you to buy this product. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. You do not need to buy this. No one is saying you need to buy this. No one is saying that this is going to be the best game. No one is saying that you're going to miss out if you don't buy this. So if you don't want to buy this, don't tell people how bad of job they're doing with giving a product. It's not for you. Vote with your wallet. If you want to see things change, vote with your wallet. That's the only way that this ever changes. Because the elephant in the room is this is a business, folks. As maddening, as irritating as that is to hear, and as much as you may not want to hear it, these board games being made, they are not doing this out of the goodness of their heart for you because they feel like it is fair that you deserve it and you have earned it. Nope, this is a business. This is a business model. These stretch goals are part of a business model. The expense of these stretch goals is already factored in to this core pledge, whether you like it or not. And if you don't, then again, like I said, this is where you vote with your wallet. If you don't like how this is done, the only way things change from a business perspective, because this is marketing, this is business, this is bottom line with the stretch goals, especially in a campaign like this, is you put your money where your mouth is. And unless enough people do that, then, well, people go with what works in a business, whether you like that or not, whether it is personally, morally, ethically something you are okay with or not. But that's what happens. And there is a dopamine rush that goes along with unlocking these and getting things and feeling like you are getting a good value for your money. That you deserve a good value as a supporter of their business. But do they owe you anything? No. Not at all. So don't also be surprised when they don't acquiesce to your whims of doing whatever you're demanding in the comment section or shouting from the rooftops left and right. I think it's too easy to get caught up in what we think we deserve based on what we know about the company, the game, the premise, the campaign. Regardless, you don't deserve any of this. They can do whatever they choose to do. One of the things that I see often gets thrown around with these, especially on the CMON side of things, when it comes to stretch goals, when it comes to their other previous projects, are the expansions and the quote-unquote balance, if you will, right? All the heroes aren't balanced. All of the expansions aren't equal in terms of value. We deserve a good price on this. We deserve more exclusives if we're going to buy this expansion on crowdfunding. We deserve more than these 4. All of these 4 aren't going to be balanced with the core game. Blood Rage's extra Kickstarter exclusive monsters are horribly unbalanced, and they make the game, you know what I'm saying. And you know what? A quote that I read from Board Game Geek on the forums about a month ago. Not long ago, by any means. But if you're like me, a lot of that stuff is in one ear and out the other. So the fact that this is stuck with me, I think really speaks to this tone and this message. Someone on one of the forum sections of one of the games I was reading was commenting on some of the mechanics and some of the balance that went in with some of these pieces or expansions or mechanisms. And the designer responded to them saying, you know what? I'm not concerned about being perfectly balanced. I just want it to be balanced. And think about that for a second. Do you know what I'm saying when I say that? When he said that on the forums? Look, man. I'm sorry it's not perfectly, utterly 100% balanced. But you know what? It works. It's fun. It operates in the design way that I wanted it to. So I'm sorry that it doesn't meet your specifications or your criteria. But too bad. Sense of entitlement. Like, I deserve this game to be 100% perfectly balanced. No, you don't. You deserve, if you want the game, to buy what the person is making and designing in the first place. And that's true with this just as much, right? If you don't like it, again, vote with your wallet. You don't have to be a completionist. Well, if I can't get it all, I'm just not going to get anything because it's clearly a cash grab. Man, do you? If that's what you got to do, great. But again, no one's putting a gun to your head and saying you need to get all of it. No one's getting a gun to your head and saying you need to get half of it. You can get the core and just be good with that on any of these. That's always the best value anyway when it comes to these pledges, period. Whatever it may be on any of these $1 million projects. Without any doubt whatsoever. Going back to the beginning, speaking from my side of things now, yeah, I've definitely felt that way, like entitled, like, why am I not getting a review copy? I'm big enough to, be able to. No, I'm not. If they don't think I'm not, then I'm not. There's nothing I'm going to say that's going to change their mind at that point. And so it's recognizing, gratitude for what you got. If you even have the ability to buy some of these games or even consider getting a game like this, be grateful for that sense. Be grateful the fact that you can say, you know what? This isn't what I want, even though I have the money to spend, so I'm not going to. It's pretty freaking sweet if you can in the first place, because there are a lot of people that can't. So in the end, you have to remember, this is a business on both sides of things. I want to get a good value as a consumer on a product. They want to put out a product that people want to buy and make a profit. And it's not always going to lean totally in your favor. You have to realize that. There are going to be things that you like and there will be things that you won't like. And you're just always constantly weighing those and saying, is it worth it? But while remembering, nothing is owed to you in the first place. You are pledging your support, not pledging your list of demands that this game need to be, as often you will see also in the comment section. How many times have you heard, oh, well, this game needs a campaign situation, or this game needs a solo mode. Every game needs to have a solo mode. I can't believe this doesn't have a... Again, you're pledging your support for them, not necessarily submitting your list of demands like a Santa's Christmas list, if you will. There you go. Stretch goals, frustrating, entitlement, involving, a little bit of everything. Let me know what you think, because, this is a topic that's here to stay. It happens and pops up with almost every single CMON campaign, period. And it's happening more and more just across the board. But the other thing I'll say is just choose not to engage with it. There's a reason I don't frequent the crowdfunding forum sections. Just don't. Because, subscribe to one of the Board Game Geek pages before a CMON game launches. And just get those little subscriptions in your Board Game Geek inbox with the titles that are on there. That, I've been doing it with Marvel Zombies. And, the titles are just ridiculous. I can't believe this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe... Why didn't they? Just one after another. Like, it's there. So the other thing is just don't engage with it. Those are all my thoughts. That's all I got right now. It's an interesting topic, and it's here to stay, like I said. So, there you go. Stay classy. I'll see you around. Have a great day. Don't hit F5 too much on those pages. They only go so fast, and they only get updated so often. I can't believe they don't have Superman